Good morning, y'all. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another What Else is Going On, aka We Go Podcast YouTube video. I'm your girl, your host, Taria. So we just gonna get into a couple of things here, y'all. I went out to dinner last night and on the way home, instantly got a headache and felt nauseous. So the hubby was like, I'm gonna stop and get you a ginger ale. I was like, just to get me home. He stopped, and I'm glad he stopped because the ginger ale made me feel better. And I sniffed some rubbing alcohol on a face pad to help with the nausea to go away. But I also forgot, you know what else works for nausea, y'all? If y'all have it, that works. But also, I promise you, salt and vinegar chips and a Coca-Cola. That works as well. I should have thought about that last night, but I don't really like salt and vinegar chips like that. But anyway, I was knocked out, went to sleep, woke up feeling fine. Child, of rubbing alcohol probably took me out and woke me up this morning. But anyway, we are going to get into some things. One of the things that we're going to get into, I saw on Threads. And speaking of Threads, so I was scrolling through Threads and I'm seeing all these beautiful Black men and women being matched. They're going into the medical field, whether it's dermatology, pediatricians, um, OBGYNs. And it was so beautiful to see how we are going to have more and more Black folks in those spaces, right? To look out for us. We already know there's a medical bias. And I was so happy to see them. At the same time, there was a part of me that, because I was seeing so many, y'all, once something comes across your algorithm the first time and just scrolling. And then for a second, I started feeling bad about myself, like, Dad, what am I doing? And I've spoke about this before. It's not a one-time feeling. We don't feel a way one time and the feeling doesn't come back. We just learn how to deal with it or remind ourselves this is not true. You know, don't believe those thoughts that you may have about yourself. But for a second, I was like, Dad, am I going to be able to post, hey, or not even post, but live like in an answered prayer? And I had to realize that I am. Just because I haven't received the other ones yet doesn't mean that I'm not living in an answered prayer. I have a house that I absolutely love. I have a husband that adores me, and I know this, but that I also adore him. And I have a husband that I like, not just love. Like we actually like each other. And people may think, yeah, you should. But not everybody don't want to hang out with their spouse. And we like actually just hanging out. Child, he watched the Housewives with me. I get him into all the Bravo shows. He got his commentary. So I had to remember that I am living in some answered prayers and some that I didn't even pray for. I wasn't praying for a husband when I got married 20 something years ago. I didn't think I was being raised in church. You know how they taught us sex before marriage, you're going to hell. So I would say, is being transparent. I used to say, child, I'm only getting married because I like sex and I don't want to burn in the pits of fire. I used to say I was going to be like ludicrous and have a hoe in every area code, but I digress. But anyway, I'm just saying that sometimes God or whoever you believe in will bring you what you didn't even know that you wanted, right? And so we met, hit it off. Not saying we haven't had our struggles throughout our years because we definitely have, but to be at a place where that and I don't feel like love has to be struggle love. Some of it was on him, some of it was on me. I feel like if you can avoid those things, if I can speak to people or tell people so they don't have to go through it, like love can be beautiful without it being a struggle. Sometimes you just happen to go through those struggles and hopefully you make it out on the other side. You know what I mean? So, but seeing those on my timeline and thinking, wow, am I ever going to be able to live in the answered prayers? I was totally not even thinking about the answered prayers that I'm already living in. And I had to remind myself, just like you got these, the ones you prayed for and ones you didn't pray for, you will get the other ones. You don't have an option to stop. You just got to keep going and you can't let yourself stay in this feeling. And I know I talked about that last week, having feelings. Again, they don't just go away. Sometimes you have them, you just may not share them. But I wanted to share that to encourage y'all because maybe some of y'all are feeling that very thing this morning, feeling self-doubt on social media and feeling like, am I ever going to be able to share my wildest dream just came to pass, right? So I even thought about, wow, their parents are so proud. I want to make my parents that proud, even though it's for me. Then I'm like, Taria, they are proud of you. They've said that before. And then I thought to myself, and fool, you didn't even want to be a doctor. So, you scrolling like, oh, they're making such a difference. Did you want to be that? No. Okay, girl, move it along. This feeling's got to go and you got to get up and do some work. So I just want to encourage y'all, just keep going, keep believing, don't stop. Also, don't deny yourself having a feeling for a minute. You're allowed to have a feeling. I can only speak for Christians, but I know a lot of times they'll be like, oh, you ain't supposed to feel this way. You ain't supposed to feel that way. We are human beings with feelings. So everything is not just take a bath and pray. Sometimes those things help. Sometimes you do need to light a candle, but you're allowed to feel those feelings. You just don't want to stay in those feelings. So I just wanted to talk to y'all and just encourage somebody that may be watching. Just keep going. Just keep going. Even if you got to do it through tears, being afraid, being frustrated, because I used to let that stop me. If I was mad, I would be frustrated, maybe crying, maybe angry, and I would let that stop me. Forget it. I might as well not even do anything else. I might as well not even do a video. I might as well not even do a podcast episode. I might as well not even do that. And then we'll try to play the blame game too. Well, this is why I can't do it. Sometimes those things were the case, but I could have found a workaround around them. So don't let whatever feeling you're in stop you. Work through the feeling, whether you're scared, angry, mad, sad, frustrated. You got it. All right, moving on. Let's get into some of the things that I want to talk to y'all about. First up, Teddi Mellencamp. She has returned back to her podcast. So remember, she hosts a podcast, co-hosts with Tamra, and she also co-hosts a podcast with Erica Jane. I want to see what the name of their podcast is. I know y'all probably know it. It's called Diamonds in the Rough. So one of the clips we're going to watch, I believe, is from that podcast. But first up, we're going to watch a clip from the podcast with her and Tamra. So let's get into it.
What?
Hold on.
What?
There's something I need to show you.
Oh.
Well, I want to first say I am not in this coloring book.
Am I?
I don't know, but
Best of
Erica
Housewives,
isn't.
yeah.
Teddi, we hope you know just how protected you are in prayers and positive energy too. At this point, I had to go grab my glasses because I thought there was a freaking typo. Vicky Gumbelson.
Stop.
I am very gracious. I haven't heard from Dorit, but I've heard from Vicky Gumbelson. Dorit was one of my best friends. Thank you, Vicky. It meant a lot. I really appreciate it.
Stop.
I just was shocked. Oh, Tam,
What?
You're not in the book either.
Please tell me Vicky wasn't on the cover.
She's on the cover.
Did y'all see that Karen was on the cover? Let's look at the cover again. Darn it, I didn't mean it.
There's something I need to show you.
Oh.
Well, I want to first
Pause it. Karen, Vicky, is that Teresa? And there's somebody with glasses. I can't
say
the Best of Housewives coloring book. Y'all, let's look it up and see the best of, because I want to see. Here it is. Look, y'all. It's on Amazon. Who is it? Oh, that's Sonia. So that's Sonia, Teresa, Karen, and Vicky. That is funny, y'all. I did not even know they existed. Well, I feel like I want to order some and just send them out to some of y'all randomly. Just have some kind of contest or something and y'all randomly get them. That is what's up. I did not even know that it existed. Wow. Well, there you have it. So that's her and Tamra. But to be clear, the Best of Housewives, Teddi, you wouldn't be We're praying for you. We want a full recovery. I'm also going to tell the truth. You wouldn't be in that book. All right, moving on. Teddi had some more to say.
We just got to call it how you see it. You're a referee. That's it. You got to call balls and strikes.
I can tell you it was crickets from Garcelle.
Hold on.
Shout out to Sutton. I don't know if you're getting along with her or not. You don't have to answer.
I know she reached out to Kyle right away, too.
But she gave me 2 excellent recommendations. I'm very grateful to Sutton for that. It doesn't mean I'm still not going to talk when I start recapping Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
We just got to call it how you see it. You're a referee. That's it. You got to call balls and strikes.
I can tell you it was crickets from Garcelle. Didn't hear one peep. Not one person told me that they were checking in. But not to be shocked. Shout out to Sutton. I don't know if you're getting along with her or not. You don't have to answer.
I know she reached out to Kyle right away, too.
But she gave me 2 excellent recommendations. I'm very grateful to Sutton for that. It doesn't mean I'm still not going to talk when I start recapping Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
We just got to call it how you see it. You're a referee. That's it. You got to call balls and strikes.
I can tell you it was crickets from Garcelle. Didn't hear one peep. Not one person told me that they were checking in. But not to be shocked. Shout out to Sutton.
So now I
think,
think,
with her or not.
all right, we got it.
I know she reached out to Kyle right away.
Okay,
too.
so I think that this was her and Erica's. It could have been her and Tamara's and Erica was guest hosting. I don't know. But this is from the Real Housemates of New York. And their post said, one would think that while battling brain cancer, you would not want to project you would want to project positivity and not point fingers about who you haven't heard from. And then somebody said, why would you expect Garcelle to reach out? You have done nothing but speak negatively of her. Teddi, this is the main reason why people don't like you. You and Garcelle ain't friends. Why must she pretend with you? I'm going to say this. It's almost like there is some things in life are just, to me, are black and white, cut and dry. That's it. With this, I was kind of looking at it from both sides as a person who's been podcasting for over 8 years, now doing YouTube, and as a content creator who wants to be authentic and honest with y'all about certain feelings I'm having, just like at the beginning of this video, right? I get her wanting to share that with her listeners. Sometimes you start thinking of listeners and subscribers as your community. Well, not sometimes. I know me. I think of as my community, things I could share. There are also things, let's be honest, that all content creators that I'm just not going to share, right? That I may have just with my homegirls around the kitchen table. My husband, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom or my dad, you know, like that. My kids. So I get her wanting to share that. But I have to be honest, I don't feel like that was the reason she was sharing it. She has spoken very negatively about when I've listened to 2Ts in the pod in the beginning and they were recapping Beverly Hills. It was not anything positive about Garcelle at all. They don't like each other. And this is before Garcelle called her that. This is before that. And then she said, but I opened up the podcast, invited her to come. If I was Garcelle, I wouldn't come either. And again, this was in the beginning before Garcelle even called her a gnat. This was before that. And this was the beginning of 2Ts in a pod. So they don't like each other, and that's fine. I do feel like I almost agree with this comment. Well, I agree with the comment that says, why would you expect Garcelle to reach out to you? There's a part of me that feels like if, in fact, Garcelle reached out, she would speak on it how she did about Sutton. But even worse, like, yeah, Garcelle reached out, but she probably reached out so she wouldn't look bad. That's the energy that I get from Teddi. Maybe not. Maybe she wouldn't have. I'm speculating, right? Because I don't know, because Garcelle didn't reach out. They're not friends, so I'm not upset. I mean, and I saw some comments that were like, she has cancer, go easy on her. They're not friends. And would she have reached out to Garcelle? Possibly. I'm thinking she would if she's saying this. There is a part of me that gets why she said what she said jokingly with Vicky and the Housewives coloring book. It was almost like a funny thing. Like everybody knows me and Vicky can't stand each other. She was even on last season of The Real Housewives of OC when they went to Scotland, I believe, and her and Vicky, she said, good evening or good afternoon, something Housewives and Vicky. So we know that there's a thing with them. So the spirit in which she said it with Vicky to me was different than the spirit in which she said it with Garcelle. And even, y'all know I'm not a fan of Sutton, but even her mentioning Sutton was kind of like, but I'm still going to talk crap about her when I'm recap. It still wasn't the same spirit in which she said it about Vicky. You know what I'm saying? I hope that's making sense. Like it was a difference. And it could have been the co-host that made the difference. We know that Tamara can be funny, shady, how she fell off the floor, maybe make the environment a little more, like I'm saying something really shady, but it's also kind of funny. You know what I mean? Versus Erica is very much one note. So that's the note that Teddi was on. I don't know. I just feel like I don't fault Garcelle because they are not friends. I'll say this. I can understand why Garcelle wouldn't have reached out. And if she had have reached out, I could understand that as well. I don't know. I just felt like, again, she's a content creator. She likes to share a lot of things about, well, not everything about her, because we know she didn't really want to talk about the cheating, but all that. But also I know she's going through a divorce. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I went back and forth. Like a part of it was kind of like, ooh, ick. And then a part of it was like, okay, this is her reality and this is her podcast and she's sharing her reality. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let's get over to Salt Lake City. Jen Shah, honey, when Jen Shah first got convicted, okay, she was sentenced and she was supposed to get out. I need y'all to understand this. Not Shah, I had it right on that spot and it moved. Who am I blame because it moved? Hold on. Hold up, y'all, because I want to get y'all the date. Oh, this is so annoying, y'all, because I promise y'all I had it. She was initially, I'm about to throw this computer. I believe she was initially sentenced to, because now it's gone. She was supposed to get out in 2029 because when she was first arrested March 21st. In January of 2023, she was sentenced to 6.5 years with 5 years of supervised release. So that means she went in January 2023. She was supposed to get out in 6 years would be 2029. So she was not supposed to get out till the middle of 2029, y'all. 2029. She's since gotten her sentence reduced. Just as of last year, she got it reduced to August 30th of 2028. Last year. She got it reduced. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, because she had got it reduced once and she got it reduced again from August 3rd. Or I'm sorry, they had given her some time off of the sentence. I forget how they calculated it. So it was shortened from her getting out in the middle of 2029, right? Then she went from August 30th, 2028 to December 19th of 2027, right? Then she got it reduced to November 3rd, 2026. So we're going from the middle of 2029 to August 2028 to December 2027 to November 2026. Well, it's just been reduced again. It's now September 19th, 2026. Y'all, she's gotten her prison sentence reduced by 3 years, pretty much, since she's been in. I would not be surprised, y'all, if she was home by the end of this year. Because you're talking September 2026. I could see her getting another year off or 6 months and being home by the end of this year. Ciao. We shall see. And you know, the person that she's talked to is Meredith. They've had a conversation. What I don't want is for her to come back to the housewives and the story revolves around everyone just left me. No one reached out to me but Meredith. And you know how that broke my heart. How could you say like that? Because you know, we know she liked to scream, holler, yell, all that stuff. I could see that. And Lisa saying, careful, Jen. You don't want to go back. You're getting close to me. Don't yell in my face. I'll call my lawyers and go the distance on it. You don't want to go back. I can see all of that playing out. So, but I wouldn't want her to come back and it be, I'm going to be honest. Y'all know there's some housewives that I told y'all my body instantly rejected them. For me, Jen Shah was one of them. I didn't care for her from her first time, the first season. I know people were like, "Oh, Jen, she's so funny." I didn't care for her. But she was there. She was there. You know what I mean? It's whatever. However, if Bravo were to bring her back, I don't want her smothering the cast because I felt like without her, without her, and without them then trying to use Mary as their storyline, the cast was forced to have their own stuff going on. And I feel like this, and maybe not all of them necessarily had a lot going on. Like Meredith, other than her bat mitzvah, she didn't really have a lot going on, but they were forced to come to work. And they did collectively. To me, every housewife doesn't have to have explosive things going on in their life. Sometimes casts just work together. And I feel like the cast that we just had this past season, even with Brittany remaining in a friend of, I think that they all worked really well together, right? So I feel like if Jen were to come back, it would then be how you all left me. Only Meredith was the only one that reached out. And I don't, girl, you committed, like they might not have wanted to be associated with you, and that was fair. I feel like half the cast was friends with you out of fear, to be honest with you, when you were on the show. So I think that Jen could probably be out by the end of this year. I would not be surprised at the rate. I mean, y'all, she's gotten 3 years cut off with the rate she's going. So child, Elizabeth Holmes is going to have to find a new workout partner. Moving on, y'all, let's get into Kandi Burrus. So Kandi does Amazon Lives. We know this, right? And we talked about last week how she talked about Portia and Shamia, how she thought they might be, going through something. And people are like, Kandi, why is she talking? She's not even on the show. I do want to reiterate, because I said it before, people are asking questions, even when they get in interviews. Like just recently, Bryce Sanders brought up, and I didn't talk about it on here when Tamar's video released of her talking about the old lady game, because I was going to talk, I had it on my list to talk about. And then when I did more research, I found out, through different outlets that the video was old. Oh, Tamar had came out and said the video was old. So I didn't talk about it, but we know that Tamar did a video saying that it was, I think it was 3 years old, about OLG. It was for a show that she was supposed to be doing that I guess never came to fruition. Fast forward, Kandi was in an interview with Bryce Sanders from Entertainment Tonight, and he brings up Tamar. And she says, "Oh no, you're not going to do that. I'm not going to entertain clowns." So I saw people in the comments like, why is she speaking on that? She shouldn't speak on it. That was 3 years ago. She was asked a question, y'all. And yes, she has the option to say, I'm not going to speak on it. But why can't she? She spoke on it. Tamar then comes out and posts a video of her singing and basically said the clown is on fire or something, whatever. But I'm only bringing that up because in those comments, somebody was like, she needs to address her lawsuit. She's talking about everything else. She needs to address her lawsuit. Well, she actually did, and we are going to get into it. Let's see. I think this is the one. Hold on.
Amazon customer says, and here's another Amazon customer that needs to
I think I have two clips I want
make
us to
their
hear.
name on Amazon, but they said, do you think?
Oh, okay. Before we get into her addressing the lawsuit. Let's get it into her. Amazon customer asked her about Drew and Dennis. So let's get into this.
Drew and Dennis are more than friends. Dun 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 dun. I don't think so. Do you think that? I don't think so.
I heard he's in a relationship, but I don't know if that means anything.
With somebody, but not Drew.
Yeah.
Child, they say Dennis is in a relationship with somebody, but not Drew.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And for those of y'all that don't know, I don't know if you heard her say, that's Jamie. The Jamie that would be her speak on it. That's her off camera.
You know what? Maybe we should invite Dennis to come on speak on it. Oh, but then she gonna be mad at us too.
Well, he doesn't like me, so. Wait,
Oh yeah,
why
that's
he
right.
doesn't
I
like
forgot
you?
about that.
I don't know why he doesn't. Like
Let's not.
Now, the other voice that said, wait, why doesn't he like you? That was Fatima. Remember Fatima was on and had an issue with Drew, and I think Drew threw her a doggy bone. Was it Drew? Was it Fatima or Marlo that Drew threw that doggy bone at or whatever? Anyway, Candy's really good friends with her. So that's who said, why doesn't he like you?
Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that, Jamie.
How do you not like her?
Let's not get into that.
All right, so that was that. So they say Dennis is in a relationship, honey. She said they should invite Dennis on speak on it, but then she'd be mad at them. I'm here for invite him. This is where she addresses the lawsuit. There we go.
Agreements between us and the landlord, but to let you know, they had to drop my name off.
Wait a minute, here we go.
Let's see.
We could put something together that looks like this outfit for your store.
Sorry, y'all, I went back too far, but here it comes.
Yeah, we can. So I'm going to try to get to okay. I see somebody wanted me to speak on the lawsuit. Okay, really, it was just a disagreement between us and the landlord. But to let you know, they had to drop my name off. So I felt like they just put my name on there anyway, just so they could get publicity for the lawsuit. But yes, they officially dropped my name from it as of yesterday, I believe. So, yeah. I guess that would be news. And the rest is being worked out because it really was a disagreement about some repairs that they made and then who would be responsible for it. So we were just going back and forth about that, basically. And that's why it turned into what it turned into. But it looks like we're going to come to some agreement. So it'll be fine. Anyway.
And there's that. I said I need to start watching some of these Amazon Lives. Or at least the replay. That way I could skip through and not have to watch the entire thing. Plus, I don't want to be tempted to buy anything, y'all. There's a couple things I clicked on. I was like, no. But so Kandi addresses it. She says that they've taken her name off the lawsuit, and it was just a disagreement about some repairs they did and who would be responsible for the repairs. And that was as of yesterday. So this Amazon Live was 2 days ago. It was the 21st. So that would be the 21st, which means they took her name off of it on Thursday, the 20th. So good for her. Glad it is resolved. So there you have it. Kandi's name ain't on it. And they're going to come to some sort of agreement. So y'all can stop saying Kandi needs to pay her bills. And like I said, I'm going to start watching these Amazon Lives. All right, y'all. She's been doing a lot of Amazon Lives, though. Because so what I was saying, with that Bryce Sanders interview she did where she brought up Tamar, she's not going to entertain clowns. I was in the comments. I love going to the comments. I took a Spirit flight to the comments. I didn't mind taking the Spirit flight because a Spirit airplane ain't never crashed into a helicopter. A wheel ain't never fell off. It's never landed upside down and sideways, and the passengers have had to crawl out. As a matter of fact, if you do your research, Spirit is ranked one of the safest airlines to fly. They do not fly Boeing. And I firmly believe that the reason people don't like Spirit is because it is marketed as a budget airline. I'm going to be honest and put myself out there. I've flown Spirit over 23 times, never had a problem, ever. And I can say this, even if my flight has been delayed, I have always still arrived to where I need to go on time. I don't know how they made up the time, but I could just tell y'all. And when I used to go to Atlanta a little bit more, paying a Spirit had penny fares. So going to Atlanta round trip, because the fare was a penny, but then you had to pay for the flight thing and this thing. So it would basically come out to $34 round trip from Maryland. So me flying an hour and some change to Atlanta for $34. I'm with it. So, but anyway, I took a Spirit flight to the comments section, and one of the comments was she's always talking. She needs to address her lawsuit. And somebody else was like, loud and wrong. She addressed it in Amazon Live. I said, boop, let me type in, do they keep those? So I went to Google and typed in Kandi Burrus Amazon Live and realized, oh, one was 2 days ago, because I thought it was the one that she was just on. And that's what made me think, wow, she does a lot of Amazon Lives. So I kind of fast forwarded and was like, this is the lawsuit part. So they are pretty interesting, y'all. Check them out. Like I said, I had to make myself out. She was talking. I had then clicked on one of the items, child, and was like, Taria, focus. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about Kandi, what she had to say about Dennis, and well, child, him not liking Jamie. I wonder if he doesn't like Jamie because Portia chased her down at that Christmas party in the back alley and fought her. Who knows? Let me know what y'all think about her. She says she is taken out of the lawsuit. So y'all can stop talking. Y'all was going to say Jennifer Lewis. Jen Shah is getting out. Do y'all think that her release date could possibly be pushed up even further? And let me know what y'all think about Teddi talking about the housewives who reached out to her and those who didn't. Love y'all so much, and I will talk to y'all later. See ya. And remember, keep going.